Welcome to the AGA Podcast, the voices behind today's grocery industry.
This is Paul DeMarco back with the Alabama Grocers Association Podcast today. We're with Matthew Dent with Buffalo Rock. Welcome.
Great to see you again, my friend.
We're so excited to be in your new facility. There's a lot to talk about, but first of all, let's talk about this new facility. Tell us about it.
Well, what's really cool, this was actually the headquarters of our largest grocery customer.
Okay.
This is the Bruno headquarters. They developed this property a long time ago. And then after Bruno's was sold, the property kind of went through different hands, and we were looking for space, coming into May of 2020, and we bought 77 acres and 1 million square feet, and it came with these 2 office buildings that were the Bruno's headquarters. And early on, we renovated one of them, and just recently last year, this is our corporate office, and we moved into here, and this is our recognition room called the Inner Circle, where we have individual awards and company awards. So it's been really fun to bring this back to life. And this really is the central hub of our company.
Well, we talk about, you bring up grocers, the relationship between Buffalo Rock and all the grocers in the state of Alabama and your entire distribution. What is kind of the relationship and importance to you?
I think the relationship with the grocers is incredibly strong, and it's incredibly important. I grew up in Homewood, and I can't count the number of times either I have said it or my mom said it, or maybe you've said it, where you said, "Oh, I saw so-and-so at the pig," right? And typically, the groceries are a central part of a community, and you could pick any community in the state and see that a grocer is at the center of it, and it's where the community meets. I mean, outside of a church or a grocery store or maybe a restaurant, that's typically where people are. And I think our relationship with the grocers, we value it tremendously, and we're built to serve them, and so our products are part of that puzzle, but also it's our people and our service model, and this investment is really geared toward that.
And it's been a long time investment. As a matter of fact, this is a big year for Buffalo Rock. 125th anniversary.
125th anniversary. We're as half as old as the country is. A lot of people don't know, but Buffalo Rock started as the Alabama Grocery Company. And then in 1901, the leaders of the grocery company developed a ginger ale in the basement of the facility, and then that's the rest of history. In the downturn, they kind of wound down the grocery business, and they focused solely on beverage. And then in 1951, we bought a Pepsi franchise and put it with the ginger ale and everything else we were selling. And so it's been, it's rooted in the grocery business. And then we've evolved into basically being very beverage focused.
And what does it mean to be based here in Alabama?
Well, we value it a lot. I mean, the Lee family's been here. Jimmy said they came from Aberdeen, Mississippi, and then they've been here ever since. But this is a 4th generation business. Jimmy's grandson is the 6th generation. He's working here too, and it's a really, deeply rooted, anchored company in Alabama. And I think the flag that we've planted here with buying the old Bruno's headquarters and turning it into our central hub of our company is a real strong flag that we've planted in Alabama. And so we love being headquartered here. We're going to be here for a long time.
And that carries over to being involved in the community and what y'all do in the community as well.
Well, we hope so. Thank you for saying that. I mean, a lot of times we go where our consumers and our customers want to go. And so, we value tremendously the opportunity to be involved in the community, and we take that role seriously. And so, we get asked to participate in a lot of things. And, whether it's the West Alabama Food Bank or Central Alabama Food Bank or United Way or church gatherings or whatever, we want to be with the community where they are. And we bring music events and all sorts of stuff to bring that to life.
And then obviously you think about Pepsi and Buffalo Rock. I personally grew up on the Grapico, but you've got a lot of brands.
I think we've evolved kind of like the grocers have. Being a grocer today, from charcoal to medicine to home supplies, and then yes, also groceries. I mean, being a grocery owner is far more complex today than maybe it was even 20 years ago. The same is true for us. In 1951, we signed a Pepsi franchise, and it was a 3-page document, and the 3rd page wasn't fully filled out, okay? But being a Pepsi bottler today means far more than it did in 1951. You look at all the brands we have. Today we've got 75 trademarks. we've got 1,400 different beverage SKUs.
Wow.
And so you'll see some of that here in a minute when we take a tour, but it's a lot. And the reason we have all that is because the consumer is asking for it. And so we want to provide as much choice as we can and convenience and availability for that.
Well, I've got to ask you a difficult question, put you on the spot.
Oh,
What's your favorite?
Favorite?
Yes.
Well, I'm not a coffee drinker. But my daily coffee since high school has always been Diet Mountain Dew.
There you go.
And so that's just my morning coffee. And I always joke, I've got my green coffee with me every morning.
That's neat.
What's yours?
I said I grew up on Grape-A-Co.
Yeah.
Going to Pete's Famous and having Grape-A-Co.
Love it.
There you go. So always been with Grape-A-Co. Let's talk about this facility for a second. You're going to give us a little tour. So tell us what kind of the highlight for you in addition to the corporate part of it.
So when we bought this campus, we didn't buy all of the warehouse that you see in the back. This was all Bruno's at one time, but they had a dry side, a refrigerated, and a frozen side. We did not buy the refrigerated or frozen. The 1 million square feet we have back there is basically all warehousing. It's been engineered to where, everything's received from the north end and distributed out the south, but in the middle is all the back stock and all of the automation. And so we have the nation's largest verticue automated assist picking system. And so it's got over 2 miles of conveyor. It's got robots, but you'll see that to deal with the complexity that the grocers, it's a high speed. We need to be in stock. We need fulfillment rates that are really high, and we need to be able to manage this 1,400 SKU portfolio. And so you'll see it in live time. It moves very fast, but the whole point is for us to be accurate, on time, and to deliver to the grocers and the rest of our customers what they need when they need it.
Well, let's go take a look at it.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Matthew, we're in the hub, so tell us exactly where we're at and what's going on.
So this is a 1 million square foot facility. We've got a really high roof height. We're on the 3rd floor of our tower. So basically, all the long-term inventory is elsewhere in the building. And what's happened up here is we've now, on each conveyor, is a SKU. And so the system is requesting the SKU because it needs to build it into an order later. And so what you're seeing now, as the system requests the pieces, it's now going and getting into the merge lanes. But this is an automated assisted pick facility. And so we'll pick orders for a broad part of Buffalo Rock footprint all out of this one facility, but it's capable of 2,000 different SKUs, 20 million cases annually out of this building. And so we're running a lot of routes direct out of here, but we're also building inventory for elsewhere in the company that's needed.
So this distribution center what's the footprint?
The footprint's 1 million square feet. What you talking about, like what it serves?
And what it serves as well.
Oh yeah. Well, it serves probably about a third or more of the state of Alabama out of this one facility.
Wow. And it's been open for how long now?
We bought the property in 2020, and then it took about a year to install this and commission the system. So we've been picking here since the end of 21.
There, you're great. Okay. Show us some more of your facility.
All right, let's do it.
Matthew, again, we're touring the facility. Tell us what part of the facility we're in right now.
All right, so we're kind of at the final stage of an order getting ready to go to a store. And so all these products have been put in a sequence and they're being palletized now. So these robots behind us are palletizing them into a pattern. And so that pattern helps keep the pallet tight where it won't tip over or damage the product. So once it goes through the palletizer, it gets wrapped, then it gets sequenced, and it gets loaded on a truck. So this is kind of the final stage, and we've got 4 robots that work around the clock.
24 hours a day.
24 hours.
Well, look, this has been a great tour of the facility. We appreciate your time. Most importantly, happy anniversary to Buffalo Rock.
Well, thank you, and thank you to all the grocers that help us be successful. Our whole point is for them to be successful so we can too. So thank everybody for this.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you very
you.
much.